Hello, this is Dead Hamster. Today we're going to be doing a tutorial on the simple format for OverKart64. This is a new format that is a little bit easier to make at the sacrifice of performance. Because you're no longer able to select the section views manually, you do lose quite a bit of performance because the automatic algorithms are not very good. But again, much easier to make, and that's what we're going to be demonstrating today. So switching over to our view here, we have a ready-made pre-compiled model course. This one obviously is based from DK64's Angry Aztec level, several elements from there. Some things very important to note. The object itself, and when I'm speaking of the object, we want it to be called master course. It needs to be at 0, 0, 0. We should have the entire course as one single object. Should not be multiple objects put together. As much of the course as possible should be connected. What I mean by that is if I move one of these verts up, you can see it affects everything. If I were to select entire elements, one second, once we weld these verts together, you can see again almost everything is selected. If it's not, as long as the verts are very close together, that's fine as well. They should be identical. But elements like this, if they are too large, you'll have some issues with collision, and you don't want that. So you don't want to have intersecting planes that you're driving up or down. You can have some issues with colliding, and then you can end up falling through the level, things like that. So the sizing. You want the width of a road to be between 100 to 200 units across, and then depending on how long of a course, that would determine how big the level layout itself is. The polygon count should only be about 2,500. Now you'll see I have a total, but we're going to ignore that for now. 2,500 for master course. 3,000 would be pushing it. Anything less than 2,500 will be okay for the simple format. And again, that's going to affect the performance, the frame rate that you get, especially when you're playing on console. The course where you plan on starting should be aligned on the y-axis. So looking here, this is where I plan on the starting area being, and you can see it aligned up and down on the y. The material count, you want to keep it somewhere around 30 to 40 materials. In my case, I have 43, which is probably just a few too many, but that just affects the total amount of data that you're adding into the ROM. Shouldn't affect performance too much. You don't want to have too many textures on screen at once, though. That is definitely a draw. So 30 to 40 is really where you should be keeping it. And the textures themselves have to be 32 by 32, 32 by 64, or 64 by 32. One of those three dimensions, and that's in pixels. If they're outside of that range, the texture won't compile. That needs to be one of those three. And the format for the files themselves should be BMP, JPEG, or PNG for the images themselves. With all of that set and our course put together as it should be, we're going to first make sure again it's named Master Course and hit the Prep Model button. What that will do is put all of our verts at integer values. You'll see they'll have no decimal place. Double check your course, make sure everything looks good, so we'll be able to proceed. For Mario Kart, we need to divide a level into sections. So we're going to have, in this case, 6, and you're going to have to figure that out for your own level as well. Mine will have one here, another one there, a third here, a fourth here, and a fourth here, and then a fifth along the bottom. The sixth will be the center here. Again, if your course is longer, you may need more or less, depending. For the original format, more sections would help with splitting up the level in some cases. For the simple format, it's really not that much of an impact on the performance. So once we've decided how many we need, we'll put that number. In this case, we're doing simple. And you see that creates some objects underneath the course, hopefully underneath. If not, you don't need to move them, you don't need to adjust them. They're never going to be seen or played or done in game. They're just for controlling the objects with the OverKart program. So they are parent nodes, and you will be creating children objects and assigning them to those parent nodes, which we're going to do now. We're going to split up our course into those sections. So selecting faces, we're going to have ignore back facing off to make it easier. We're going to do section 1 first. We'll start with 1. Do it in order. So we're going to select all the faces that we want to be in section 1. I'm choosing not to include along the side here, but you do have to be careful, really double check. But once you're happy, detach S1, and you can double check again by hiding this object. Now the name isn't important for right now. We're going to go double back and come to these objects later. So again, we're going to go back to master course, and we're going to select for section 2. So we want all of this and that. Section 2 will go up to right. Autosave. Oh goodness, no. We'll go up to right there for section 2. Okay, so detach S2. Hide it, make sure it looks good. It does. Let's keep number 1 hidden as well. That way we don't have to see it as we're going around. Section 3, same deal. Now we do want to grab these. Go right up to the edge there, but not over. All of this. And that as well. And that's going to be section 3. So again, attaches S3. We'll double check and make sure it looks good. We didn't miss anything. Back to master course. Section 4 is going to be all of that. This, probably up to about here. It's a good spot to call. You should also hopefully have designed your course with this in mind and have created fissure points, so to speak, where you can split it up. Again, the simple format is very unforgiving as far as what does and doesn't get drawn. But hopefully to some extent you'll be able to divide your course at least somewhat evenly. This will be section 4, and then section 5. So all of that. This. Okay, looking good. And since this is everything left, oh, we did miss one though. If you see this face right here, so that's okay. That's supposed to belong to section 4. We're just going to take that little face. No. We're going to take that, detach it as S4A. You don't have to name anything. S4. We're going to attach that little object we just made. And this is just cleaning up that little mess, and then we'll weld the verts together just to make it all nice and pretty. Last thing, master course, again, we need to get section 6 out. So looking, oh goodness. All this here, is going to be S6. And that leaves us with nothing left for master course, so we're going to delete it. And here's our object split into sections. Now we're going to assign each of these child objects to the parent node. So S1, whatever section 1 was named, we're going to click and drag to section 1. Alternatively, another way to do what I just did, and that's assigning a child to a parent node, you can go to Select and Link, click, drag, let go, and now you'll see again S1 is a child of section 1. Alternatively, you can do Select and Link and hit Select by Name, and then section 1 link, and again S1 is a child of section 1. In the end, however you do it, I find the easiest to be clicking and dragging. You just need to make the child objects assigned to the parent nodes. So we're just going to click and drag straight through and assign all of those. And now we need to split these based on their materials. So I'm going to select all of them again. Our Mac script, we're going to hit Split Material. See, it kind of screwed things up. If we right click and go back to our object properties, we need to reapply the backface culling and vertex channel display. That doesn't affect what it looks like in game, only affects what it looks like in our editing program. So now we have a whole bunch of objects named after the material ID. Almost what we need. We need them to be named something unique, but starting with the surface material. And that's what these values are here. We look at all of these. 255 is for the walls, 1 is for the road, and then a whole bunch of things in between. Interesting one for us is dirt. We want to use dirt off-road, not dirt track, because that's going to be the same speed as the regular road. We want the dirt to slow the player down, and so we're going to use the dirt off-road. Then again, solid and out of bounds are the two other interesting ones there. This is 255, 253. Going back into our editing program, we're going to select everything here, and we're going to put everything as 255. That's just a starter to get something. We need to assign everything a surface, or else the program's going to throw a hissy fit. So again, hit auto part with the 255 in the box. And this gave everything a unique name, 255 underscore part, and then a number. And it goes from 0 all the way up to infinity, assigning a unique number to everything. Now we need to assign actual materials to all our objects. Since we've got a base coat, so to speak, on everything, let's go ahead and select everything that's going to be the road. We need all of these objects, anything that could be the road. That includes that, and this, that, right? And you can hit this little light bulb to make sure we've gotten it all. That's almost good, except I also want these to be accessible. So that's going to be all road. We're going to put the 1 for road, because that's, again, the surface ID for solid, pavement, tunnels, walls, floor, etc. And we're going to hit auto part. And you know what? We could even take it a step further and make these the dirt track several. You know what? Let's just stay safe. I don't want to find out that it affects the way that we drive. Let's make the road road, and we'll deal with whatever else. So again, everything else is already wall, so we don't have to worry about that. This I want to be out of bounds, however. I'm going to select all my sand pits, make those 253. There we go. And then all of these I want to be the off-road dirt. That was number 7. So we selected all of that. We put a 7. We hit auto part. that's it for the model. Now, we do have to still set up what are called the pop objects. That's our path and our object lists for our trees, our piranha plants, and our item boxes. So we are going to hit the Create Pop Objects button. Takes a minute or so to process. Once it's done, you'll see new objects again, this time still under the level, called Course Paths, Objects Trees, Objects Piranha Plants, and Objects Item Boxes. As children of those parent nodes, you'll see a single box called Item, a single box called Tree, or Piranha, and a single box called Tree, one of each. You can clone these, and however many are underneath these parent objects, there will be that many of those in the level. So for example, I don't want any trees in this level. I'm going to delete that. I do want a bunch of piranha plants, and I do want a bunch of item boxes. Now, I've actually already went through and done this ahead of time, which is what this is down here. So I'm just going to drop these in real quick. Normally, you wouldn't do this. I've gone a bit ahead of myself, so again, don't mind me. I'll explain everything in just a moment so that it makes sense. Pads all the way on. So again, we're looking at the item boxes and the piranha plants, which I actually have to fix, so it's okay. I resized my course. It looks like it screwed things up a bit, which is good. So again, it started off with one box. If I needed to make more than one box, the easiest thing to do is to take that first box, hold Shift, and then click and drag. This will, as you see, make a clone. Then going to ask me what do I want to do. Copy, name it, auto name. It should come up with a unique name of its own. Hit OK. And then just keep doing that as many times as you need for as many boxes. If you need to do multiple ones at the same time, multiple ones at the same time, select all the boxes that you need to copy. And again, Shift, click, and drag. It'll ask you copy and a name, hit OK. It'll automatically make a whole bunch of new ones. That's the easiest way to move and create new items. And I'm just going to go through these. You can scale and rotate and move. The course you cannot, but the objects you can. So it's okay if you do something like this. Scale them up, but do not do that to the the course itself. Only to these little objects. I'm going to place these here. Good. Another set. Yep, here they are. Those go right here. And again, I'd set these up beforehand. That's why I have these pre-made. Normally you would go through cloning, cloning, and cloning. And there's a limit. That's very important. There is a limit of 100, and that includes items on the course. So green shells, bananas, fake item boxes, all of those things also apply to that same 100 item limit. So it's pretty important that you don't go overboard when you're putting in these item boxes and everything else. You don't want to have more than maybe 60 of everything, because then you're going to start impacting how many objects can exist on the course. They won't be able to place green shells and things like that. So be cautious on how much stuff you place and make sure that, and that counts again for the item boxes, the piranha plants, the trees, and anything that a player can shoot out of their items, whatever items they have available to shoot. But we don't want to we don't want to screw that up. Oh, here we go. Here's the last set, which I'm going to place right here. Wonderful. Good. So we placed our item boxes. Now we're going to do the piranha plants, and we're going to fix those, or place those if you're doing it. So I know that what I had scaled the course up by was 150. Because the first one I made was a little bit too small. I wanted it to be a bit bigger. And we'll just kind of shimmy it back into place. I had it right about like that. Auto saving, there we go. Gonna get it into place vertically, and like this as well. Good. Once it's in a good spot, we're done with the piranha plants. And again, you would normally go through, select an object, hold shift, click and drag, and you can clone and make as many as you need, as long as you don't go over that 100. No trees. And our course paths is the last one. Now I'm going to show how to do that, even though I already have mine made. And then I'm just going to use mine, and not use the ones that I make here. So we're going to go to the first section, which is create. We're going to go to shapes and hit line. The first point we want to place is where the player is going to start. And then we're going to place dots around the course, outlining the whole shape. Now I am not doing a good job. You want to keep the points centered. You want to make sure that they follow along the terrain, but I'm just going to be sloppy, do a very bad job, because again I have another course path already made. I'm going to use that one instead. So again, awful path. Now what you want to do when you make it is go, the straight lines shouldn't be too close together. This isn't actually that bad, it's just sloppy, they should be straight. But when you go around the curves like this, you do want to take and add more points. You don't want the curves to be as spread out. When you finish and got around the whole course, come back, hit the first point. It'll ask you to close spline, hit yes. Now we're going to take these points, we're going to move them so that they are flat along the surface of the road. We want them to be right up against it, so if we need to, we'll do funny things and move them around, right? Whatever we have to do to make this look right. What doesn't matter is adjusting the, I don't even know where they are now, the handles. So you don't have to touch and move any of the handle points, it's only the actual spline positions that matter. It's just a collection of points. So again, we're going to take these then, drop them down. There they are, the handles. These you don't need to do anything with. They have no effect at all whatsoever. Even though it looks like they do, once you get in game, it does nothing. It's just going to matter what these red dots are, or the dots in general. So again, I'm not doing a good job. We're super sloppy. Phoning it in. There we go. So I have my path done. It looks great. Everything is perfect. I've taken care around the corners and I've spaced everything out. I want to have the number of segments be about 500. It cannot be more than 800. About 500 is the best value to put it at. So on divide, I'm going to hit divide a couple times. And then I'm going to deselect. Like maybe I hit it once and then I deselect my corners because my corners are extra dense, right? So we don't want to go overboard and super densify the corners. So we deselect those, we hit divide again. And then we select everything, including the corners. Now that everything is kind of evenly spaced, more or less, hopefully. We want it to be fairly evenly spaced. That's the goal. And then we hit divide again until we get up to about 500, whatever we have to do. Maybe we have to merge some, maybe we have to divide only some areas like this. Whatever it is, you want to get to about 400 to 500, somewhere in that range. Again, I'm not going to use this one. I'm going to delete it. Have this one ready-made. It's just a little small. So let's fix that. There we go. So you can see I have 478 points. That's good enough. It's right in that range area. See how they kind of follow the geometry, the lay of the land rather well. That's going to be for the AI. That's going to be how the game tracks where you are in the course. That's going to be how laps work. So it's important we do all of that. You can see some potential exploits. If the player was to jump off here and get far enough over, the game might put him over here. That might be a shortcut, right? But hopefully that won't be the case. We'll see if that ends up being so. With that, we need to drag this line under course paths and delete the original one. So it automatically creates this spline with 800 points. We're not going to use that square spline. We're just going to delete it. We're just going to delete it. There we go. So we have ours instead. We are set then. We don't want any trees. We have our piranha plants. We have our item blocks. We have our course paths. Our course is split up and it's identified by surface ID. I've already explained all the details about the textures, the object positioning being at 0, 0, 0 with 0 rotation. So let's go ahead and put all this together. So this file is the ROM with the patch applied. You'll have the patch in the download. That is the OverKart patch, which has a couple extra features to the start menu and allows to load custom levels. So we are going to export our pop objects to this folder. All these pop data. So that's there. We're going to create a new folder called output. We're going to export our model, and I'm sorry, I did that awfully quick. File, export, and we're going to save it as, doesn't matter, model data, FBX file. This part is important. Uncheck everything under geometry, uncheck animation, uncheck cameras, uncheck lights, uncheck embed media. Units is automatic, axis conversion does not matter, UI should not matter. ASCII, FBX 2013. If you can't put it in this format, then you have to find the FBX converter and use that. This is the format it needs to be in. With all of that set, hit OK. And we have our FBX file. So, potential errors that can pop up. The only one that I believe still exists is the UV error. You can't tile a UV, a bitmap, over 16 times on a single face. That seems like a lot because it is, but for some textures and some very large faces, you may run into that issue. If so, it should give you the name of the object, and then you'll be able to tell which object you need to adjust. So that might be subdividing a face into more triangles, or it would be adjusting the UV map and making it not tile as much, so it stretches out more. Those are the sacrifices, but you have to really try to tile something to hit that. This is OK error. Now, if it says this about a material that you're actually using, that's a problem. This is about the boxes underneath the level. These all have the default material that does not have a bitmap. Normally, you need all the bitmaps in the diffuse channel. It's finished loading FBX, no errors. So if we look, that's our unusable material, but these all work very nicely. Back to our File Paths tab, we're going to, under ROM, select the modded OverKart ROM. For POP file, we're going to select our POP data file. We want to do the Star Cup course 4 in set A. OverKart allows up to 4 sets of custom courses. We want to use custom set A, the Star Cup, and course 4 in my case. Your case may be completely different. It is going to be called DK Aztec Jungle. No, DK Aztec Temple. That name is completely internal. It does not show up in Mario Kart 64. This should always be 2. These we're going to put as 3 because our level is probably going to slow down. And we change that to Calamari Desert. For this song list I think is a little messed up. I hopefully will be fixing that eventually. We're going to change our sky color. Top will be a little less strong. The bottom will be a little yellow orangey. With that, that should be everything we need to put the actual course together. One last thing you can look at, there's a very rudimentary 3D viewer. I wouldn't advise playing with it too much, but it's in there. So you could kind of look around at your level. But again, this is very early in development. I wouldn't play with it too much. With everything put together, you can hit compile. It's going to ask for a folder to put it in, which is why I said to make the output folder before. We're going to, there we go. Go to that folder, hit OK. Might take a minute or two to compile. And when it does, it'll say finished, and we'll know that we can look in the, check it out. There we go. So in our output folder, we have a new ROM with the course added, as well as segment data. This is all for debugging. You won't need the segment data. But if we open our ROM, we can go ahead and check that out. I'm going to switch over here to wonderful. So again, options on the pause screen, you'll be able to look through. Those have been covered in other videos. That's not the point here. Time trials or versus, the only modes that it works in. Eventually, as I was talking about with the AI, eventually it'll work in Grand Prix as well. Startup, always load up a basic course. Luigi Raceway is the one I always load. So once we've loaded one of these stock levels, one of the original courses, go back to course change. We're going to hit the R button. You'll see custom set 1. This is custom set A. And 2, 3, and 4. L or Z. We'll go backwards as opposed to forwards. So we want custom set 1, custom set A. It was the Star Cup, and it was course 4. So once it's loaded, here we are. Now the ghost is going to be the original ghost from Mario's Raceway. He is not going to follow the course right. Again, that might be something we get eventually. You can hear the Calamari Desert music, hopefully. I can hear it. And here we are. Now you'll see again, there's that off-road dirt slowing us down. And once we've made it around, we can finish a lap. So, pretty interesting. You can see the piranha plants there. Right now, you can't see the item boxes, however. Let's see if it works on Versus and how well it works with the slowdown. All right. Good. Okay, so it's quick at least on emulator. But it's always, oh no, I don't want to do this on emulator. That's true. That's the console. So I'll need to look into having a fix for that as well. But you can see item boxes show up. That's what it was really about. Making sure that those work. And they clearly do. I'm in first and second, so it knows that as well. It places the bombs based on a 500 marker count, which is why, again, I suggest using 500. Yeah, hahaha. But here we are, yeah. So custom levels, Mario Kart 64, much easier with a simple format. Oh, no. A tragedy. Alas, we'll have to do some editing at some point, but the point is made. Hopefully, if you follow through, you'll be able to make your own. Again, this is much easier than the original process was. The original process still works, is definitely still applicable, but this is definitely much easier to get simpler courses into the game. So, if you want to have any help, if you need any advice, go ahead and join the OverKart64 Discord post. I will definitely be happy to help and guide and post anything that I can in response. And then also feel free to watch the other videos. Hit the subscribe button. I'll be posting more courses of my own, and then other stuff that goes on in the Mario Kart 64 community. As always, thank you guys so much for your support. I really do appreciate it quite a bit. It means a lot to be able to make these things and have other people play them and not just be playing through them myself. So again, thank you so much for that, and hopefully soon we'll have some more things coming up. Until then, as always, you guys take care.